Hey guys, what's up? I thought I'd share some thoughts of a personal training client that suffered a cardiac arrest several years ago. Now, this man was in his mid 50s at the time, and his father had passed away from a heart attack or cardiac arrest at that time. He was at home when it happened, and there wasn't anybody medical around to save him, which is unfortunate. But that's why these things are so tricky. Is that something around 2% of people that suffer from cardiac arrest survive? So my client was fortunate enough to be in a place where he was surrounded by somebody that could help him out. Now, I trained this person in a business building in downtown Nashville. Um, Monday through Friday, I'm there. This person was out on the weekend at a local country club where they belong and was just there about to get on a treadmill, I believe. And they were just happened to talk to a cardiologist right there at that moment, just standing there talking to a friend, cardiologist. And then he begins to have the cardiac arrest episode where I think he sat down and then he began to say, I don't feel good. The cardiologist knew exactly what was going on, and that's just a miracle of where he was at that time and who he was talking to. It's like that cardiologist was basically like an angel, took over his body, and what else can you say? So the cardiologist knew what to do, called for a defibrillator, began CPR right away. They were able to revive his heart, get his heartbeat back in the ambulance, and then took him to St. Thomas West was the closest one, and they were very close. So I've said many times to him and other people in our building that love and respect this guy a lot. Very prominent lawyer in Nashville. Uh, Other than having that episode in the ER at the hospital, you couldn't be around a better person or a better place, a country club where of course, they have a defibrillator and they have people who practice CPR left and right, I'm sure. So, um, but on that note, with Damar Hamlin, so it's hard to tell, and I'm really glad that when I'm seeing people on ESPN and they're getting the right people talking, doctors and whatnot, that there's no telling that if the collision caused this or if this was just it's clearly an electrical problem in the heart. There's no doubt about that. That's what a cardiac arrest is. A heart attack is different, where you have a blockage um, in one of your six arteries. It's just different that way. Cardiac arrest is real quick, real fast, and it's like lights out from what I hear. So, but there's no telling if that collision to the chest caused it or if it was just that was the time that it was supposed to happen. Because one thing's for sure, if this happened while he were at home, I highly doubt he would be alive. But I feel confident, and of course I'm hopeful. But knowing what I know from my client's story, that uh, my hope is high that he's going to make it through. My client remained in an induced coma for quite some time, weeks, and it was a long road back. They had to wake him up very slowly. You really take your time, and he had to get a pacemaker in there because if this is a genetic thing, um, it could happen again. There's quite a number of people that end up having to get a pacemaker in case this happens again, because it could. I was listening to the radio earlier, and someone called in, and they've had 5 episodes. That's incredible. But I've heard it multiple times now that if you could just be standing in line at the grocery, boom, the electricity shuts off to your heart, and that pacemaker kicks in. You might need to go to the hospital. You might be okay, but of course you want to go to the hospital after something like that. But nonetheless, thoughts and prayers are with him like everybody else. And just wanted to share that quick story, just a little bit of insight that I have. That's as personal of an experience as I have had with someone that has had cardiac arrest, but made a full recovery. They're the same person they were the day that it happened, and certainly thankful they're here. And I just, again, my hopes are high that he's going to make it through, and I'm sure he's under the best care possible. So if you want to share a little bit of that story, you're welcome to. See ya.